What is your motto? Crudo soy, borracho de este sistema. What is for you the summit of misery? Jerusalén. Where do you want to live? Hotel Jungla Caribe. What is earthly happiness? El sexo de un ángel. For which faults do you fall into formula? El ocio, tomar mi cafecito, leer el periódico. What is your favorite saying? Al nopal solo se le arriman cuando tiene tunas. What is your favorite acronym? INRI, Instigador Natural de la Rebelión de los Infelices. Who are your favorite living women? La chica que se llama Sonia, Selena, Joyce Mansour, Leila Khaled, Mónica Moran, Sheila Lopez Mendez, Miren Arsanios, Devani Gonzalez, Myra Guarneri, Comandante Ramona, Caitlin Diaz, Charity Coleman, Amanda Tawil, Jennifer Lopez cuando interpretó a Selena, Janan Halil, Hannah Baxter, Megan Esposito, Oraib Tucan, Miriam Mona Lisa Garavi, Lucia Hinojosa, Samantha Jacobus, Melissa Siebert, Cecilia Lopez, Nicole Delgado, Katie Captain, Lucia Centurion, Gaby Cepeda, Lau de Sales, Nashla Diaz, mis hermanas, mi mamá, mis abuelas, y María de los Ángeles Felix Gureña. Who are your favorite fictional women? Sonia. What is your favorite body part? El sombrero. What occupation do you most enjoy? X. What person would you like to be? La chica que se llama Sonia. What ruins your day? La palabra naco, pendejadas de todo tipo. Which flower do you want to be when you grow old? Flor de plátano. What is the greatest unhappiness? Ser pozolero, tener que cruzar el puente de Reynosa o el control de Calandia. Who are your favorite heroes in history? Sonia, pero también Malinche, el cuadrado negro de Malevich. Do you like to kill? Preocúpese de por qué a ellos les gusta matar tanto. What historical character do you enjoy imitating daily? Salah al-Din Yusuf ibn Ayub, Ricardo Flores Magón, Cantinflas, Messi. What military act do you most admire? What military act do you most admire? What military act do you most admire? Do you think it is right that Israeli company Elbit Systems built the U.S. border wall? Para culparlos doble, sí. Would you return to Palestine? Depende. Why are you visiting the United States? Dinero. Where will you be staying? Por la 83. Who will you be visiting? Master. How long will you be staying? Por un tiempo. How much money are you bringing? Un poquito. Do any of the following apply to you? Answer yes or no. A. Do you have a communicable disease, physical or mental disorder, or are you a drug abuser or addict? C. B. Have you ever been arrested or convicted for an offense or crime involving moral turpitude or violation related to a controlled substance, or have been arrested or convicted for 2 or more offenses for which the aggregate sentence to confinement was 5 years or more, or have been a controlled substance trafficker, or are you seeking entry to engage in criminal or immoral activities? Moral turpitude. C. Have you ever been or are you now involved in espionage or sabotage, or in terrorist activities or genocide, or between 1933 and 1945, were you involved in any way in persecutions associated with Nazi Germany or its allies? D. Are you seeking to work in the U.S., or have you ever been excluded and deported, or been previously removed from the United States, or procured or attempted to procure a visa or entry into the U.S. by fraud or misrepresentation? C. E. Have you ever detained, retained, or withheld custody of a child from a U.S. citizen granted custody of the child? No. F. Have you ever been denied a U.S. visa or entry into the U.S. or had a U.S. visa canceled? C. What is your favorite color? Puro negro. What is your favorite food? Vuelve a la vida. What gift of nature would you like to have? Todas las flores del árbol del plátano y una placa que dice, aunque me consientas con estos regalos y lujos, todo esto pertenece a los muertos. What god or goddess would you like to meet? Xochiquetzal. How would you like to die? Luchando contra el espacio gringo. What is your present state of mind? So the next one I'm going to read, I've been working on more or less since the summer. Some people here heard pieces of it during Language and Thinking when we had a nice faculty reading. I'm going to read the complete poem here. It's called Plátanos con Bananas. It was 1752 of sitting alone in the espacio called the space, noticing trees in representation of there was in it banana trees and monkeys too, and a roller coaster's worth for pinche Dios mío. It was 1753 and metal vines, green smoothies, and frozen yogurts. It was 1754 eventually, and at 1755 I having to slather over this habitat I was working into at 1756 with my peg leg hopping along gently. My favorite hat wrapped on bonnet style was fashion. It was 1757 and did a gulp, because in it 1800, and because being here in the armor of me, the time was coming to change altitudes. It was 1802, it was 1803, it was 1804, then at 1808, and I out of vitamins. All I had was a nails clipper. I emanated a little bit, counting hormones. It was July 15, and had released me when tunneled through the green grass. The work yonder is bad today, corn production down 16, and the oil continues to do export, and we not have facilities to process it, and inflation being at 3.8 numbers and 25 more die today in numbers where it was the repetition of July 15. It was 1813, and thinking about all that at once, and was doing some right then me, because it getting so screwed into. It was 1820, I mean. What is this thinking about sanctuary? And two, I shan't suck off a courtier's finger whence the gold buttons gather milks for the worried solar plexus. It was 1821, and groping in the air-conditioned air, I couldn't believe they conditioning it. It was 1823, and feeling like eating a nopalitos or two, and mouthing, life is language, pain is immersive, and grabbing my scant appendages, thinking of the trucking to the awa, caravan, goers, howls, and sigh, paddle flimsy then, enumerating the benefits to this country whole, and in full effect, nada. It was 1825, too, beginning to feel more freedom in great ancient Rome, with pure nervous system. So I took off my bonnet and got in with the thinking. Kingdom of death, penis of the colonies, liturgical banana trees, one syllable after next in the way of the strong poems. It was 1829, and thick anxious about the territory I in as happened, which was and happening it for the bananas or their propagators. And it was 1830 then. Who would peel them? It was 1831, and I was not alone. I married to the bananas in deep analysis and feeling eruptioned inside in different scales at 1832, and this marred ex pompous coughing up blood and green and blue and palming it into my culottes clockwise. It was still 1832 and stopped like a tube of old caulking unsanctimoniously then at 1835, which meant had to most abled hurry of all. It was 1836 in my racial features from bird's eye, so was 1840, and deciding to lie instigated in the air-conditioned super air and took a chewing vitamin in found wrapped in my napkins, then admitting obliged, then experiencing a pimple burgeoning because it became 1845. As the detention system has been rapidly expanded, a greater share of detainees have been held at private facilities run for profit. Today, nearly 50% of immigration bed spaces are in private facilities, and private companies own and manage many of the prisons, two of and more, and so on. At 1846, there was plebes in the long corridors in commerce. Upon checking the time, it was dark time then, realizing, articulating it all wrong. It was 1846. It was tiempo negro. There was glamour shots on the wall with presidents, and looking down and seeing my blood dried on the floor and rafters up top, and some flags hanging down for chingalo's sake, mijo, muchos of them forming four isosceles triangles side by side and moving northwest because of stars, the air conditions then, the air conditions, all of a freezing, probably to destroy bacteria, so the noble flags, noble, still, and quiet then, the air conditions going God back up again, and the flags pointing pure with a slight push toward the west. It was 1850, and not explaining itself good. Why northwest, then north, with a little west, a sign, therefores I waiting for, enough to give it, was 1852. My lips really chapped. It was 1853, and checking the time again. How I leave here, the passers in the entirely. It was 1854, and if they only told me I am an ordained cowboy, and if I just lie here and keep to ambulate, then, smiling, okay. It was 1855, and you finished to learn to smile, and got on the edge of the raw eroticism, I say, but it turned 1900, like that, in the blackout, and with dead bodies, of going back to, again, the desert, or a more specified way, I was inside of all the throng, with zero shade in them, and hurt drone and destroyed water jugs, only for exacerbate, and gutted, dehydrating, and burned skin crispy, and eunuchs of all ages in a giant chicken coop with saliva before I thinking, how is this patrolling? Where is the people's, my students, the lover and hers lover, and each name, what are like the homes in their lives? Is the food delicious in its original tongue? But no bodies was noticing, and having to return toward this narrator again, iced up. It was 1901 already, híjole, the iron buzzard going off. Then and hey, come back, and traveling into one's own time, wanting to clips my nails and erase the concursions from the sodden eyes. It was 1902. You see it? It was quickly 1902, and wanting to focus on this banana tree in the middle of the facade, momentous. So I focusing on the banana tree, but dead bodies on at 1903, a whole itemized of dead bodies, gacho dead, and feeling like was walking on the flinty moon then, rib cage contracting, and after that, salacious air conditioning, then the brunt of our labors. It was 1904, and boy, in his overalls coming out of shop to wash windows and reaching into his jacket and took out a sandwich, immune to the carnivorous. It was 1905, and watching him with tasty sandwich in his left hand while wiping windows cleaned with his right, then switch put down rag and switching to his right to spray with his left before switching it to his sandwich left again exactly at 1906, and whispering into the paranoid he might be addressing me, then listening more closer to see if Mexico, then fingernails inching before feeling relieved, he singing in the worker's way. It went como que eras falsa, como calabaza, cualquiera te pica y tú al rato te rajas. It was 1907. In a real song, it was the Arrolladora Banda de Limon I privy to. Then it was 1909. I saw a corpse coming from the surface. At 1910, I saw a diabolical mirror shed a tear. Then it was 1911, the boy's boss come out and hurry up, you're not fucking working enough. This old man, fat, returned to the store, and some loud children, milagros, exiting the store, and two women holding hands entered the store. Then a family with a chihuahua passing by, and it wanting to enter the store, but the father of the family say no. So the last piece I'm going to read is part of a longer work that It has multiple parts, so I kind of introduced it to the public and thus like to myself in a sense. Like it felt real a couple of months ago when I read, and the part that I read then was about this film called Pepe that came out in the 60s. That was the actor Cantinflas's second kind of entrance into Hollywood cinema. And the project itself that I've been working on is related to not only Cantinflas as a character, but the community and the neighborhood from which he came, both as an actual person, as Mario Moreno, the actor, but also as a character, which is the Pelado. And so this place that he comes from is a small neighborhood in Mexico City called Tepito, which is also known for having a very kind of vibrant outdoor market that also operates illegally at times. And so one of the things that I've been doing in some of my trips to Mexico City is I've been going to this market and buying like different goods that the market offers, and I've been writing about these goods, about these items. And so each item I write a small little poem about it, and the poem itself has a lot of footnotes, and so I'll go ahead and like read the poem. Well, I'll tell you what the item is, then I'll read the poem, and then I'll read the footnotes to the poem. I'm going to read four of them. So the first is a lucha libre, like basically a wrestling toy figurine with his face painted like a clown. It's about this large. Figural simulation provides barrier from insistent muscles. We practiced muscularity by groping each number of used or Chinese objects. What is hot in blood? A replication and a giving synonymy of a rose is a rosa. 1. Figural. The figure unbounded, its soft skin, a sliver of passage to make concept on and maim the mouth ready forming. On Monday, I wake in the maze is fayuca, falucha, or faluca, the origin Arabic of small boat to contraband merchandises, big vehicle of empty sounding geographic similitude, in a death without end, either vassal or baroque glass, the simulacra masked proletarian turned wrestling spectacle. So, 2 objects. Alberto and me goes to traverse, Jesus Carranza, then down Tenochtitlan, it Aztecas, before us Florida, around in, we groan on Fray Bartolomé de las Casas, memories, memorias in carnal accented union, and Eje Uno Norte on one sides of West, Matamoros Street cutting through, some intimation of interstice, the Sangfroids, where Tamaulipas manifests, given to representating, brave Tepito, the backpack I put on self. Don't do that, say Alberto, or you have gun? No, I do not. We transparent, carry what we bide in the mano, hand. So, 3, blood. Little splurts in a collective puddle, crusted over on the eye. The intransitive sangre mexicano outperforms a keyboard, the clarinets, 2 trombone, 3 flute, a cymbal from Los Angeles Azules. The Mobius strip, unorientably both romance and tough girth. Bass erupts in blood. If the spilling not present, it doesn't, but it's still bloods, big bloods, maybe sweeter on this land, but he nonetheless a clown. 4. Synonymy. Luchadores exóticos bend time, there and appearing not, but is, what desired my favorites of life, makes a market, finds commerce, diva salvaje de putísima huera, May flowers in tribal leotard, lady arms performing one nut grab on a border called lo exótico, to be not common, rare, mysterious, strange, a doubt of signs, that why the race seeks good deals on counterfeits, ambiguous carnitas, we gimmick mimesis in parody travesty, id est travestis, feather boas on slender aboriginal necks, some little smidge of interpretive violence as dividend, the more cheap prices go into roleplay. So the second item is a 4-pack of generic Viagra encased in hard plastic. The vigorous impregnates the figure with meaning. Its image self-medicates each me. Viral products unkind but awares of their infinite reproducibility. Its color of labor inflects second-hand resistance. 5. Meaning. Sentido can significado too. Habit of sense time gains Bacchic violence with feeling. Why I touch, I penetrate, just same. Misprize a dog ear page in La Faena. Matadors cry their own blood all over plastic tables. Shrimps in my soup too. Says the cosmic race idea to continue on. Everyone dream of the massive orgy in Atlantis to compensate. The long penis and open buttholes, tight wet vagina, ogival tits. Ask for the mouth to sum up parts of outlines to show. The words need change where things with bodies fill them in. 6. Medicates. Los llamados latinos, tal vez porque desde un principio no son propiamente tales latinos, sino un conglomerado de tipos y razas, persisten en no tomar muy en cuenta el factor étnico para sus relaciones sexuales. Sea cuales fueran las opiniones que a este respecto se imitan, y aún la repugnancia que el prejuicio nos causa, lo cierto es que se ha producido y se sigue consumando la mezcla de sangres. Y es en esta fusión de estirpes donde debemos buscar el rasgo fundamental de la idiosincrasia iberoamericana. Nosotros padecemos en el vasto caos de una estirpe en formación, contagiados de la levadura de todos los tipos, pero seguros del avatar de una estirpe mejor. En la América española ya no repitará la naturaleza uno de sus ensayos parciales, ya no será la raza de un solo color, de rasgos particulares, la que en esta vez salga de la olvidada Atlántida, no será la futura ni una quinta ni una sexta raza, destinada a prevalecer sobre sus antecesoras. Lo que de ahí va a salir es la raza definitiva, la raza síntesis o raza integral, hecha con el genio y con la sangre de todos los pueblos, y por lo mismo más capaz de verdadera fraternidad y de visión realmente universal. And that's a quote from The Cosmic Race by Vasconcelos. 7. Products. Production with no unionized break. The subject of sex habits got hurried down aisle with generic pills put in hand. They take you into one alley, called it Sin Salida, I record, in Santa Maria la Ribera on June 12, 2018, the experience full-blooded on paper. 8. Labor. Chinese speak Chinese and the Koreans in Korean. Their warehouse monoliths attract rotulistas. Cantinflas was strong Indio for a generation, but I there now, and a güero attached to this look, do smoke marijuana too anyway, drink cold water with fecal matter. 9. Inflex. The language changes in non-stop language. I emulate trills for friction, hairy one-fold of meaning. Cognomen are the ones conflate work with trafficking. Others say we not like work, what if it true? 10. Resistance. A common refrain, Tepito existe porque resiste. So the third object is a green, unadorned baseball cap with the bill slightly curved. A shape of the head is a extreme importance. Selling the image too reaches the possibility of diagram. Formaldehyded forms get put in the story of how the market gives back indicators of poor global fashion. That's how come I wear very nice the cap. 11. Head. The head connected to its outline of face feigns commercial rostrum. Aesthete must do up in his version to vend items off salacious mannequins. The time passing by counts to accoutre a snakeskin boots, jeans with tacked on rubies, Gucci logos on ribbed white shirt, the plain baseball cap, traumatized silver-plated natural obsequies, the appearance of, in the vein, plus one rosary, a oversized scapular sporting a man, San Judas Tadeo, the man. 12. Formaldehyded. A pre-Columbian colonial modern matrix emerges in patina. I see a ghost below the manufacturing. 6 rats, the present conditions of all over sewage. I clutch in case. Tame discounts. I put on a headgear. Dissimulate to buy crap. What it like back then, close to empire and one day subsumed. A habit of fixity, valer, worth, to have valor, translates strength. A city-state. Teocalli Tepiton, a brave neighborhood. Won't pay for archaeologists. The faith to believe certain feats stepped here. The symbolic exclusion of bodies left at the border in an academic paper, they inured to buried, they against shapeshift. Gives back, 13. Excesses in generosity pokes holes, wherein if the market black, it black. Going to squander good Asian connections now and not assimilate, Italianate style. Way too much gonzo porn. In America, the woman said the angels buy everything with plastic. I say angels fly aways empty-handed. Is this love? I can escape on command. One big potlatch of the unnamed embody and soul. Started with the beating heart to be ethnic, is carnage, is red hands. What we call cursilerias when tattooed on left side of chest. Localized, it can't be a global thing. 14. Fashion. Iconography peeled back onto the gold decade transforms. One peladito, one garbadine, a red paliacate, his mismanaged mustache, consigned power for abundance of lifestyle is how is by design. Interminable micheladas bear scabs on knuckles impervious to hell, sized up against incognito watching Xolo y Squintless. So the fourth object is a plastic mannequin hand. Models can't acquire it because they show pretty colors with a future image bought on a budget. Put out along the mannequin hands is part of it without charity. Why the ethos of love is not charity? We say it is a figment of a hand to give a three-dimensional opportunity. 15. Models. The model is a standard, the peach color white, as long fingers are feminine, feel gummy, and chill blood with pneumatic plastic. Mario Moreno tried a cosmetic approach to perpetuity. He stayed childish as the popular wanted. It got weird in the last movies, but with copies it need be fake. Fingernails have mosquitoes or gold chips stuck in lacquer. Each manifestation or appearance of its ghost or our rally can be. All it trying is show is immaterial ideas. Police aren't real. They walk around, do no thing in Tepito. Residents wake up to sell something, get nails done, ignore them. 16. Budget. Insofar solitude augments perversion, Philoctetes on his island fears rather than hopes to return. One Uroburos becomes Mexican technique, rends open economy in more ways than expense. Abundant chachara is practically free, because on the faraway land, bric-a-brac helps with winter chill, shows piety. There only so much money to accumulate right now. Senescence fears emptiness, and then to go transgress with picaresque verbiage. It meaningless to talk about the exchange rate. My budget 1,000 pesos, I whisper, but the number immediately choral since everyone heard. 17. Charity. Each applique pressed on every other fingernail. Humor takes the long route to imitate love. Acetone vapors placate two brains. What the point if without opposable thumb, she asks. The relation is not customer, but custom. To make headway, every investigation pays interest in the hormonal. To revolve around the albur like a prize cock. The contest begins with my money. I bet on a continuation of amenable currency. Manuela. 18. Charity. Along this path, the possibility of multiple comparisons of quality. Stolen watches on the hand operate as the perfect lovers out of time. 19. Figment. Si el indio mexicano parece inasimilable a la civilización, no es porque sea inferior a ella, sino distinto de ella. Su egipticismo lo hace incompatible con una civilización cuya ley es el devenir. Como por un influjo mágico, el egipticismo indígena parece haberse comunicado a todos los hombres y cosas de México, que se oponen a ser arrastrados por el torrente de la evolución universal. Lo nuevo nos interesa solamente cuando es superficial, como la moda. Para la edad que tiene México ha cambiado muy poco. Nuestros cambios son más aparentes que reales, son nada más disfraces diversos que ocultan el mismo fondo espiritual. And that's a quote from Profile of Man in Mexico by Samuel Ramos. 20. Opportunity. Reductive materiality maintains a certain smell. Via walkie-talkies, the profile of man dispersing into a network often, or everyone look at young women, or avoid macho deficit. The recipe is tomato juice with clams, smoked chili flakes, Worcestershire sauce, salsa bruja, black pepper, a celery stalk, olives, beer. Motorcycles pollute through. Was it 2.1 kilometers to the General Archive of the Nation on Google Maps? Didn't know, didn't we, with documents on what was life there and latex gloves snapped on. It history, so you have to keep vigilant. The people dreams versus city dreams from the Black Palace of the Lecumberi. Thank you.